Ladies and gentlemen, this is Home of Politics. Welcome, my good people. We have been recently hearing about this famous MP called Ndindi Nyoro. He is from Kiharu constituency and he has been very quiet and avoided public conduct because of several reasons. And this comes after he have been removed from the important parliamentary budget and appropriation committee, and he went silent on that. He later re-emerged to address the issue about of his removal, but he didn't give a clear detail about his removal because he said he does not know the reason as to why he was removed from that position. Of late again, he has had another drive in his constituency whereby he has launched different projects, but he has not spoke anything to do with politics, to do with talking, anything to do with the fellow politicians, or anything to do with the UDA or the other alliances. But he has maintained his stance to be a development oriented leader or MP who is focused to work for his people and deliver what he had promised. And finally, today he has been in Taita Taveta County, whereby he has been at a constituency called Undai constituency, whereby he has been there just advertising for the Masomo Bora at Undai constituency, whereby he is bringing the knowledge and idea from his Kiharu constituency to that different place, whereby they have been having a very big edition there on which he can advise other MPs and parents on how they can enhance quality education for their children. My good people, he has not publicly given any report or shown any support about his political allegiances because he feels maybe he has different reaction upon this. And so we know he is from UDA party, but this leader was supporting the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. In fact, he is one of the leaders who abstained this issue of voting to impeach Rigathi Gachagua. He even he made himself absent in various meetings in the parliament because he didn't want to take part, showing that maybe he is aligning himself with this former deputy president, but at the same time he's within the government. And we can see this as a neutral stance that he has decided to take in politics. But what is the key secret? What is the key reason as to why he is keeping off from public declaration or showing his loyalty, maybe to either Rigathi Gachagua or his UDA? Number one, my good people, it is because of influence of Mount Kenya politics. Ladies and gentlemen, we know of late Rigathi Gachagua, the former deputy president, is gaining a lot of popularity due to sympathy of his impeachment in Mount Kenya politics, because he has been realigning himself with a lot of tangible works in the ground according to the regional politics of Mount Kenya. And so because the influence of Mount Kenya politics matters a lot, if we can decide to give his stand, maybe he's following the former deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, then he might lose supporters in the ground, those who support him with William Ruto. And so this influence of Mount Kenya politics matters a lot in the future career of this Ndindi Nyoro. Another thing, ladies and gentlemen, the reason as to why he is avoiding publicly announcing if he is going out of UDA or announcing his political stance, it is because he is protecting his future career in politics. This is because, ladies and gentlemen, his announcement earlier, maybe because he said he had not communicated very well with President William Samoei Ruto starting from the end of last year, then it shows that maybe there is no good relationship that is existing between this MP and other UDA members within the party. And so the issue of announcing his stand right now, maybe he can be in UDA but not satisfied with this party, maybe looking for other loopholes to look for another alliance. It can cost him a lot because As a focused leader and ambitious leader as Nyoro, we know he is really a performer and he does not want to spoil his reputation. For example, in future, he might decide even to concentrate on what he has been doing right now because he has delivered a lot of things that he had promised. He can decide to use his projects right now as reference to stand up for further future big seats in the politics, maybe as a governor, or even decided to look for something bigger more than that one of MP. And so this leader, just to remain silent and not to address the public about issues of politics right now, then he is maintaining his future relationship in politics, because who knows, if you begin to show the strategies that you have earlier, then you might be defeated in future. Ladies and gentlemen, we know that politics is a game and everybody should calculate his moves. And so, if he wants again to remain relevant in the politics, he should learn how to mobilize people in the ground. And so, he must maintain the public trust. That one is something that he is doing right now, because as much as other leaders are really complaining about their political instability in a certain party, maybe because of this and that, Ndindi Nyoro is one of the leaders who have been very quiet, but he has focused on development and people who elected him. And so, because he wants to maintain the public trust right now with his people, that is why he is making sure that he is delivering on the promises. He is making sure that he engages more with the people in the ground, rather than doing politics. And it is not time for politics right now, or campaigning. And so, if we can win the trust of his people, he is sure that even if in future he stands as an MP again, or he is aiming higher to another seat or bigger position in government, then he is sure of the support of his people, because he knows these people trust him a lot, because everything that he has been promising, he has delivered. He has not betrayed his people, because he thinks he is running maybe for earlier campaigns or not. And so, earlier the better. His public trust is very important. Right now, if you go to Kiharu constituency, everybody is just applauding this leader, and it is forcing other MPs even to go for benchmarking and to invite him to places like for today he has been in Taita Taveta, only to explain to them on how they can strategize about masomo bora in their own constituencies. This means that this leader is not only attracting the influence on the residents of his constituents alone, but he is also acting as a source of light to every person in Kenya whom they want to act as their role model, or they want to imitate his ways of doing politics. And finally, my good people, if this leader is deciding to remain very, very quiet and avoid issues of coming in public and saying politics here and there, then what is the next future that he is aiming at? So we can easily predict that Ndindi Nyoro is not only working for people of Kiharu constituency right now, but he is looking for the future and predicting on how this Kenya might look coming in future. And so dreaming about the future is very important, because his politics, if we cannot be focused about the future, or if we cannot predict about his future, then it can end very quickly. And so how about his future prediction? Number one, ladies and gentlemen, if this Ndindi Nyoro can remain this silent or neutral in politics right now without showing his move either towards the factions or opposition or in the government, then there is a possibility that if President William Samoei Ruto remains relevant and dominates in politics in future, maybe 2027 to 2032 in future, then this Ndindi Nyoro might decide to align himself with the President William Samoei Ruto, because he wants to secure his future political career. As a result, this Ndindi Nyoro might remain very loyal to him, because he knows he is with the winning team. And because either way round, things can happen. Then if the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua might win the influence of Mount Kenya region and become the kingpin of Mlima, then it means that Ndindi Nyoro will have to look at his grassroots and realign himself with his people from the same region or from his origin, because by that time maybe if the fame or the influence of Rigathi Gachagua might be very strong compared to that one of William Ruto, then this MP might decide to go back to Rigathi Gachagua. And so it is a two-way round, and in politics you look where your relevance is needed. And so either way, if the president remains relevant and strong in politics, he might just maintain his lane in UDA. But either way, if this former deputy president might gain his fame in Mount Kenya, then he might carry the day with this Ndindi Nyoro. Again, my fellow Kenyans, we can see that every party has got its weaknesses, and just in case UDA party splits or forms a faction or a group maybe can decide to split from this UDA, then because Ndindi Nyoro is one of the leaders who have been neutral, is not showing his cards, then Ndindi Nyoro might take the priority or the opportunity that might be brought in the table to be a leader of a certain faction or alliance that will be split from UDA, because he is a leader who is approaching everything with a lot of sharpness, and this might make a lot of sense come in future, because he is not one of the leaders who is there shouting here and there about how they will do things. And so the issue of taking leadership role in UDA just in case there is a split or something to do with misunderstanding, then this is the leader who can stand in the gap to fix issues and at the same time negotiate for himself to act as a leader of a certain faction. Otherwise, he might also seek a higher position in future. This is just about his prediction, because you cannot sit somewhere without seeing what tomorrow is holding. And so, if he is seeking a higher seat in future, maybe, let's say, right now he has performed very well in his constituency, and he can decide to change from vying as an MP to a higher position, maybe to vie as a governor. Who knows? Then he might put this in consideration, and that is why he can predict his future as a leader who is moving from a certain level to the next level. And so in future, we are expecting that Ndindi Nyoro will not just be an MP forever. He might run as a governor. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are together with me, please continue giving me like in this video and share with me your opinion in the comment section. Lastly but not least, my good friends, we are seeing that if things are not working out of your expectation, or things are not turning out the way you want, then what is the next move? Ladies and gentlemen, here this leader might decide to take a different stance. Number one, he might decide to run for a higher office in 2027. We have just spoken that one, because we are seeing the move that is coming. If he performs very well and the people can give him the support or may have his back, then who is against that? He can run as the future governor or another bigger seat in this nation, and it will be acceptable. What might be another move that this leader might decide to take rather than staying where he is, neutral and silent? He can decide to remain loyal to President William Samoei Ruto, because in future, if this government again decide to take can win election and come back to the office, then Ndindi Nyoro might be given a higher government position. Maybe we are realizing that this government is reshuffling its cabinet secretaries and several positions. Then Ndindi Nyoro might land a bigger position in future in government because of his loyalty, his silence, and his neutral positioning in his politics without causing problems here and there. And so he might find himself serving as a bigger person in the government in future. Ladies and gentlemen, he can also decide to take a move of remaining neutral from now up to 2027, whereby he can sit in a corner and observe which side is having more influence or more winning. He can decide to be neutral up to 2027 and decide to be focused on his political career, whereby after seeing which side is winning more, maybe the side of opposition or other alliances and the side of William Ruto, then he can decide to go with the group that is winning a lot of masses and numbers. After all, what is politics? You go there with your own moves so that you can win a position and you can deliver to the people. So remaining neutral is very relevant to this leader, and that's why he has been silent for a long time. Right now is very neutral and is not doing any politics to attract negative energy or negative politics around him. This is because he knows very well that politics is not only about today, but you need politics even in future for you to survive. And so being neutral and in 2027 is very important for Ndindi Nyoro. Lastly, but not least, then we might experience a lot of division. For instance, splits, diversion of attention, and even the parties can decide to break down and form a new thing that might lead to their success in future. Who knows? Ndindi Nyoro might be there calculating his own move, and maybe he can see himself as a mature leader who can decide to follow somewhere or form even another alliance that might carry the order of the day come 2027 and going onwards in future. Because all of this is just politics and you need a lot of calculation. You can share with me in the comment section your feeling or your opinion about everything that we have just analyzed here about the future politics of Ndindi Nyoro, how he is calculating his political move, and how he's planning maybe to win more influence in future. Otherwise, thank you for watching and staying with me tuned. Have a good day.